Hold on to your hats and glasses, because this here is the Wildest Ride Podcast. And welcome back to the Wildest Ride Podcast. Today's show, Mickey Balloons Poppin' and Aspire Program Stoppin'. It's going to be a rant show. I am your host, Brian California, and with me, as always, Big Texas. How's it going?
We getting real spicy up in here.
Yeah, we're about
It's
to
gonna be
rant.
a nice. It's gonna be very different. It's gonna be a quick episode.
Yeah, we're disclaimer. We did start this episode. We were just didn't push record. So rookie mistakes. It's been a little while since we've done a podcast too. So a quick housekeeping so we can keep this flowing. Go watch our YouTube channel. We did opening of Food and Wine, HHN Orlando, Big Texas vlogs. Those were great. He did an awesome job. Go watch them. And then I'm gonna do a opening. Well, it's opening weekend of HHN out here in Hollywood. So you have that to look forward to. But we have a few vlogs on there, a few episodes of the podcast on there. So go check it out. We have some shorts and stuff. So I think you'll enjoy it. Go subscribe. And yeah. But we got a couple of news topics we want to talk about. So let's. You want to jump into this real quick?
Yeah.
All right. What's going on in Magic Kingdom, man? Why are people fighting and setting
I
balloons
think.
off and making people stampede?
I think short answer is people being dumb.
Yeah, that's yeah. Just looking at some of the videos and some of the pictures and I get it. You hear a loud bang these days in this country, you kind of fear the worst, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I understand, and especially with kids around and stuff. So you want to get them to safety, but you would think after like 10 minutes of it, you'd realize maybe nothing's going on, and you wouldn't completely trash the Emporium. But I don't know. It's crazy. As a cast member or a former cast member, did you ever witness anything crazy like that?
I have not. I have never seen anything escalate. Like I haven't even seen people throw hands with each other. Um, Listen, you're at the happiest place on earth. Ain't nothing worth getting a trespass over. You know what? If somebody really wants to cut you in line, not saying that it's right, but put that in a cast member's hand. Don't ever put anything in your hands.
Yeah, it's not. It really isn't worth it. Just don't do it. Like, just don't put yourself in a position where you're never going to be allowed to go to Disney World or even Universal or wherever you're at, because a trespass is for life. It's not just for a year or a couple of days or whatever. It's literally for life.
It's that NWO for life.
For life. Yeah,
Yeah. It's not worth missing out Villainous Land over.
no.
The closest thing you gonna get to that's a POV of the wildest ride doing it, of course.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of villains POVs, and Cars lands and stuff. Well, there's a new villains show taking over the Racing Academy.
So this kind of hits me a little bit differently because I've actually opened Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. Like I was part of the opening team for that.
Oh wow!
And yeah, dude, I've done everything that you could do at Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I was a trainer, opening day trainer. I did it for Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. I've coordinated at Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. So I'm very familiar with the attraction and stuff like that. And I think the overall gist is like the attraction was meant to essentially, it was right by Rock and Roller Coaster.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, because Rock and Roller Coaster has a 48 height requirement. So anybody, that had the small kids, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy was kind of a good spot. It's air conditioned. Right. It's fun for the kids.
So right while the rest of the family went on on the Aerosmith ride, grandma and grandchild went to the racing academy.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Wasn't it was a very boring attraction to work, but I did see the value in having it. I want to say that attraction opened up in 2019. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. I remember that.
So we're looking at, did we at least get 5 years out of Lightning McQueen's Race Academy?
It
Yeah,
is
it
a
was
sick
like
animatronic, man.
dude, they put a lot into the animatronic.
I bet.
Uh, yeah, it's kind of sad to see it go, but at the same time, I bet you whatever this villains thing is, I don't think that's even gonna be a long term thing.
No.
I think it's kind of like, oh well, we're getting Cars Land, our version of Cars Land and Magic Kingdom, so that's kind of like, well, Lightning McQueen will probably find his way over there, and I
Hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if that animatronic is probably built into that ride
Oh,
somewhere.
it's guaranteed going to be built into that ride system. I don't. Obviously, they wouldn't trash an animatronic like that, but obviously, with that going into Magic Kingdom, that's definitely going to be there.
Yeah, I think the villains, you'll probably get the villains thing kind of like in the preparation for Villains Land, because you kind of have to imagine that's probably going to be the latest project that gets
Hmm.
taken off the ground. So when we're in 2024, what the earliest I think we could possibly see Villains Land is what
29.
2028 at the very earliest.
I think if they're going to start moving, if they're moving dirt, it's going to be like 27.
I doubt that, and the only reason why I doubt that.
I think they have to open cars before they start moving land
Oh,
for
I
villains.
think Dirt's getting moved. I just think it's gonna be one step at a time.
Right.
And people also gotta like realize this too. The one luxury that California has over Florida is you don't have rainy season. When you
It
got
rains
rainy
once a week
season
here.
in Florida, you can't do diddly squat.
Right.
And so that's why it takes so long for things to get built here. Because summertime, you're losing out on so much time.
Although we don't prepare for rain though. I know you guys will prepare for rain when you're building something. We've had projects be delayed because of a overly wet season. So like, overly wet season for us is like 2 weeks of rain, but that's enough to do damage. So like
Yeah,
SoFi
well,
Stadium opened a year late because of a 2 week rainstorm that we
well,
had.
like the issue in Florida too is that, dude, it will rain every day
Yeah.
from like for like 2 hours from like 3 to 5,
Right.
or it could be later. And so like you're probably missing out on a good 2 months of like stuff that you really should be getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's why I say Villains Land. I think the expectation would be 2028, because also this too, we don't know what type of rides are going in there. We're
Right.
we're assuming that it's gonna probably get some type of e-ticket roller coaster, and
Yeah.
I think
Looking
we're
at the
getting
concept art,
another some
you
type
know.
of e-ticket attraction, and then maybe like a obviously a shop in a restaurant, of
Yeah,
course.
they're gonna go with the basic model that they've been doing with like Galaxy's Edge and stuff. A couple restaurants, like a quick service, a sit down, and a couple, an e-ticket, and then like a B ride. So.
Yeah, I think honestly that's probably gonna be a nice filler for until then. You get kind of get your villains fix.
Hmm.
Kind of interested to see how people are gonna see like a live production in that theater, just because of how the benches are set up.
Hmm.
But we'll see when it
I've
happens.
I've never seen the show. I've seen like a POV of it, but I've never actually been in the building. So I'm curious to
Uh,
see how it works.
I don't know when it's closing. Well, it's yeah.
I
I
might
don't
be
know.
able to
I
make
think
it.
it'll probably be closed by the time you're here.
Yeah, probably, which sucks.
That's
But
why you gotta do attractions while you're here. You don't know when you're gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, but I'm gonna prioritize getting on Tower over Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. So,
I would not blame you.
in fact, if you told me, "Hey, do you want to do Tower a fifth time or go to Racing Academy?" I'd be like, "Fifth time." So,
Yeah, it's a good show for the kids.
yeah.
It's all it's meant there for. Just to say, hey, you've done a show and stuff like that. Again,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad show. When the show first came out, I thought it was actually really cute, and they had like a cool, they had a nice little courtyard show that was with it, and
Hmm.
it was popular at first, but then it kind of just got awkward.
Yeah. Seems it seems weird, but um, well, we'll see how this goes. And villains in that park seems a little off to me, but whatever. We'll see how it goes.
Well, villains. The one thing about villains too is that they had the villains nights at studios. Like I know they
Hmm.
did like two like hard ticketed events there, and they've done club villains actually at inside the Sunset Showcase, which has Lightning McQueen in it at the moment.
Right.
So it's like if they wanted to do Villains Land, you can't go wrong with a Villains Land in either Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios.
Right. Right.
I see potentially when it's time that whatever they're gonna do in Sunset with like Rock and Roller Coaster, uh, I can see maybe that being packaged together as some type of a land slash expansion. I think it's just whatever. Very interested to see where Monsters goes. If
Yeah.
Monsters goes to, I'm gonna say it. I might get a lot of flack for this, but I'm gonna just say, Monsters really should go where Muppets is at.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Why?
I just everybody that's been kind of doing the speculation thing though, kind of say there's just not enough room there.
And the only reason why I feel like there's not enough room where they want to put it in an animation courtyard. You want to put a fully suspended roller coaster there? Like you
Uh,
have to cut out so much.
It's a Vekoma kids coaster. It's not going to be a huge coaster, I don't think. So, I think the concept art makes it look a lot bigger than what it really is.
Maybe, but you're gonna have to like cut out so much backstage from cast members, which we're gonna get into later. You take
Mm-hmm.
everything away from them.
Yep.
I would say if you could find a way to just put all that at Grand Avenue, I think that would make the most sense because, dude, 3D. And I hate that we would lose Muppets in return, but 3D is such it's a dying concept. You know, it was cool in the 90s. It's
Mm-hmm.
not cool in 2024.
Yeah. It's funny you said that. I went to go watch the Philhar Magic that we have here at DCA. It wasn't bad. It's just kind of like the 3D kind of just gave me a headache.
Yeah, like I would say if they could find a way to put Muppets into maybe Epcot.
I just think your idea was perfect. Put it into Haunted Mansion, you know, as a seasonal thing, and people will get their Muppet fix, and it's fine. And you
Yeah,
probably you don't saturate it by keeping it somewhere year round. You know, you give somebody, you'll probably sell more merch that way too. So,
I think that one thing about Muppets, it's been dealing with a series of unfortunate events,
mm-hmm,
and the reason why I say that is they did the Muppets movie, which I loved,
mm-hmm.
but the sequel wasn't really anything that people were like talk about.
All right,
And they did that Muppets TV show that was on ABC, and that only lasted for for a season before it got canceled. It was one of those things like it had a great concept. Like you kind of tell like they really it was like Modern Family Meet the Muppets,
Right.
and I
Now,
don't know if they wanted it to be kind of a little bit into like the adult humor or just make this like kind of like a kids show. And I think that's where the show ultimately suffered.
hmm,
I don't. Here's. I really don't think Disney knows what to do with the Muppets.
I don't think they
Well,
do either.
like it's almost to the point. If somebody else was to own the Muppets, I think the Muppets would probably be better off.
I I just think I don't
Which
I just think it's one of those IPs like Peanuts, and it's not as popular as it used to be. So it's kind of a nostalgic thing. People don't want it, but they don't want it gone. You know, it's nothing fresh, but it's like don't take it away. I'm gonna miss it.
you
I
know what would be very cool, and they did this at Jollywood at Theater Stars. I think if we could find a way to do a version of the Muppet Show with
hmm
like puppets, you give it the full like theatrical. I think we would have something there.
right, right.
You know, like okay, that's where I would propose maybe to put it in Sunset Showcase. Soon as the villains thing has its run, put it in Sunset Showcase. Let's get some type of version of the Muppet Show.
Or just put Muppets 3D in the American Pavilion. And just call it a day.
Oh no! You can't put that in American Adventure, bro. That show goes hard. I
Yeah,
would like to see some type of Muppets. I think Muppets probably just has with just the climate. Almost to the point, I think the Muppets would just fit over at Epcot. You know, uh, now that's the tricky part. Well, where does it go in Epcot? Uh, is
yeah,
the tricky part, but you got to have the Muppets in the park. But at the same time, 3D shows are dead.
yeah. They really are. Uh, so maybe a live like maybe like a what do you call it, like a cavalcade or something, inside like Liberty Square. I don't know, something just to keep it alive.
Something. Like I would almost take a Kermit boat ride in Animal Kingdom. Just give me something. Something with some,
Yeah,
like I gotta have some meat on that bone. If I don't have no meat on the bone, what am I doing here?
yeah, yeah,
And I'm sorry, but the 3D shows are played out. Like
yeah.
if I was running things at Disney, all the 3D shows would go.
If you were running things at Disney, we wouldn't have any river
Um,
rides.
it'd be a much better park for it.
Like we would not have water rides and roller coasters.
When you talk about, I love Tiana. I love Bayou's Adventure.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Uh, yeah, yeah, I guess so.
All right, what else
We
you
just
got
would
for
never
me?
have a rapids ride. Um, the next one I want to talk about, pretty big deal. Tron going into a standby instead of the virtual queue. Something we've been talking about, hoping that would happen, and there it is. It's happened.
Yeah, that's big news. It's needed.
Mm-hmm.
I just want Disney to do away with all virtual queues.
Yeah.
You know, if
The what?
people want to buy the right to for a lightning lane, sure, let them. I get it. You know what I mean. But if somebody wants to wait in line and it's a 4 hour wait, who cares?
There is. I was talking about this in my latest vlog. The virtual queue at Disneyland makes sense right now for Holiday Haunted because of the fact that they're working on the queue. But that's the only reason. They just can't house people anywhere. So they have to have a virtual queue. But that's the only time virtual queue really makes sense, right? When there's something going on where you just can't store people away. So if you don't have the queue open or you're working on it or something. But having a virtual queue for Tianas and for Guardians when you have perfectly long queues, just let people wait.
Yeah, okay, let's say that's a good example. Let's say hypothetically here, people are gonna wait outside now the attraction. At
Mm-hmm.
that point, if you want to set up a virtual queue, do that.
Yeah,
But then let these people know that hey, regardless of whether you coming back, you're waiting the max 3 hours or something.
because Universal looked like they were gonna go into that type of deal for a minute there. They were really loving the virtual queue thing, and they've kind of started backing up and backtracking on that a little bit.
I'm kind
So,
of curious to see if they're going to use any type of virtual queues for because they still do the virtual queue for Toads at Hollywood.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, last time I did it, it was like almost like a reservation slash virtual queue. I'm kind of curious
Yeah.
to see if they would do any type of virtual queues for any of the
Did
attractions.
they have it for pets when you went?
Virtual queue now.
No, okay, because they had it for pets when it opened, and I think this is why. And then I think they were trying it out on Minions for whatever weird reason. And I think they were just thinking they were probably going to go on a virtual queue thing, and just everything was going to be on a virtual queue. And I'm pretty happy they backtracked on that and decided that that's not the
So
direction they want to go in.
I do know the ultimate goal years from now is they want to make everything set up to the point where you don't have to wait in line.
Very Volcano Bay, I guess, right?
That's for Disney too.
Mm-hmm.
That's Disney's honestly long term goal is to make it to the point you don't have to wait in line. And the reason why they want you to do that is if you're not waiting in line,
You're buying merch, baby.
you're buying merch, you're
Yeah.
buying food. So that's more money in their pocket.
Well, then stop killing the live entertainment. If you don't want me to wait in line, I'm not going to stand out there not just waiting for my virtual queue. You better give me some entertainment, baby.
Yeah, I feel like Disney's kind of backed themselves in a hole when it comes to entertainment.
Disneyland, especially. I went the other day and it was just it felt very so Universal. My biggest issue with Universal out here in Hollywood is always that there's not enough to do aside from going on rides. There's not enough little mini shows you can watch and things like that. And Disneyland the other day kind of felt that way. It felt because Great Moments is closed. They don't have like Launch Bay open. They don't have the Mickey and the Magical Map theater open. So
The
there's
Lion King hasn't been playing in there.
it might have. I don't. It wasn't playing when we were there. So
That's crazy to me.
yeah. So to me, it's like you want me to do other stuff, but aside from waiting in line, but you're not offering anything for me to do. They had the Disneyland band out. That's kind of one thing. They were doing cool, great. I love watching them, but they're out there for an hour, you know, or 15 minutes every other hour. So like, it's just I need more stuff to fill my time there, and you're starting to it started feeling like Universal Hollywood, with like
So
you're kind
here's
of just there to ride
something
rides.
that you said about Universal Hollywood that I probably don't necessarily agree with.
Mm,
When we were at Universal Hollywood, I felt like they had the mini shows out. Like they probably had about like three street type of entertainment things going on. And that was the one thing I kind of praised them about. It's like, okay, this
hmm
kind of feels like I'm getting like you're feeling like the production and the entertainment is kind of making up maybe for the lackluster of attractions that Universal Hollywood has.
right. Okay,
Uh,
let me backtrack a little bit on that. So I meant this more in like 2018, 2019 when they didn't have any of that, because
okay,
that was always my biggest issue. Was back then they didn't have any of that stuff. So
okay.
it was just like it felt very let's go into the park. We're gonna ride all the rides and we're gonna leave. When we had when we the Platinum Pass prior to COVID, uh you got express, but you literally had express all day. It wasn't like after a certain time. So you would literally have express all day. We would show up in the morning, ride every single ride in 2 hours, and walk out, and we were done because there was nothing else to do. And that's what Disneyland felt like the other day.
Yeah, I don't know why. Disney's definitely lacking on the entertainment side of things. Like, dude, I remember when I was a kid, one of the coolest things that I could I will praise Disney for. Every theme park had a daytime parade, and I know that's something that we'll probably never get in our lifetime, in my lifetime ever again.
Hmm.
But I remember you had Mickey's Jungle Jamboree and Animal Kingdom. You can go look this up on YouTube, by the way. There was a parade in no wasn't it in Future World? I think it was in the World Showcase. They had a daytime parade. They would have like a High School Musical mix, like type parade, but also had like the Power Rangers and some other
Hmm.
stuff in like Hollywood Studios.
So DCA had the High School Musical little cavalcade thing.
And we had the 101 year of Magic parade at Magic Kingdom.
Mm.
And I like that's the one thing if I could challenge Disney for is more entertainment. Like essentially, because like there's some people honestly that can't they can't do rides.
Right.
You know, so are you gonna say, well, you can't do rides? Maybe Disney's not for you anymore. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a lot
No.
of people go to studios and goes to Animal Kingdom specifically just to go see shows. And what they'll do is they'll go from show to show to show because they're not there to ride. Everybody's there has their own little special niche when it comes to Disney. My special niche when it comes to Disney is snacks. I love
Right.
snacks. That's my that's my business.
Well,
Definitely the snack game.
let me put it into perspective. Um, During the 60th anniversary, you went while the 60th was going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so during the 60th, they had a show in the little theater where Mickey and the Magical Map was going on. They had a band that would play, a jazz band that would play at in New Orleans Square. They would have the Pirates band that would play in New Orleans Square. They had uh the Dapper Dans that would almost they it felt like they were out there all the time. Um, they had obviously like Great Moments was open. They had stuff going on inside the Innovations building. They had the Disney what's the one that's called the citizens of Main Street or of Buena Vista Street, the people that you go interact with at DCA. They had a band that would come out of DCA and play. They had a show in the Hyperion. They just there were so many things to do at that time. They had a nighttime show or nighttime parade. They had a fireworks show. They had Phantasmic. They had World of Color. They had so much going on. It just now it just doesn't like all that stuff. Most of that stuff is gone. So that's what I'm talking about. It's just the little things. You know, you can sit there and just enjoy a jazz band. You can't do that right now.
You know, if they could ever find a way, this is the one challenge I would like to see. I would like to see some type of water stunt show go to Rivers of Light for Animal Kingdom.
Just buy the Waterworld IP.
Dude, I'm sure there's some Disney movie out there that deals with water that we could make that work. I don't know. They just had Avatar.
I'll just say a way of water, baby.
Yeah, has some. We got some blue people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you
Oh,
already
I
have the
don't
Blue
know.
Man Group, right?
Can we do like Moana? Uh, have Moana show or something. I don't know.
A Stitch show or something.
Dude, I'm saying they can use that for the daytime, and then at night you do a nighttime spectacular there. I would probably prefer some version, maybe a drone show
Oh, you know
if they
what?
could
I got
do
the
that.
perfect one. Just do a Treasure Planet one.
Well, that has nothing to do with animals, so that's gonna be a tough sell. But anyway, we got 4 more minutes. What's the last thing you want to talk about? We're gonna PTI this.
Well, I want you to rant a bit. Let's talk about the Disney Aspire thing.
Okay, cool. Because Disney is screwing over their cast members, and if I was, um, I don't no longer work for the company, but I would say one of the big things that was a big incentive for me. It was probably the biggest incentive for me was the Disney Aspire program because it was paying for me to go to school and like a lot of people like especially in this economy, a lot of people can't afford to go to school, and it's almost like I was just talking with somebody about this. It seems like the United States is the only place where you hang your hat on. If you want to be somebody in this world, you have to go to school. You have to go to college. Where I feel like maybe if we focused more on like trade schools, like, hey, this is the profession I want to do. Dude, do we really need to take another few semesters of math, English, and all this stuff? No, get right to the meat and bones of stuff. People are wasting way too much money on college for stuff they've already been doing for high school their whole career. But basically, school is so expensive now. I know for me, the Aspire program was huge because they kind of took a weight off my shoulder, and now I had no worries of going to school. Well, now these people don't have this option because essentially, I want you're allotted. Let me double check. I want to say you're allotted $5,000 for the year.
Hmm.
Now, a lot of things like let's say for instance, I in the Aspire program and I want to take classes somewhere in Orlando. Well, it has to be partner up with the Aspire program, otherwise they won't pay for it.
Right.
So a lot of times you're taking online classes for a college that's outside of Florida. So you're essentially they're covering it, but they're paying out of state tuition.
Mm.
So let's say now essentially I took classes in Arizona. Classes probably cost anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500. All
Hmm.
right. Now if they're only paying for 5,000 for the year, realistically, I'm only probably able to take two classes a semester.
Yeah. Yeah.
How long is that going to take me to finish school? And then on top of that, uh, if you want to get your master's degree, Disney will not cover it now.
Yeah. It's brutal. I didn't read fully into it, but just based off what I did read about it, I'm like, you. A lot of people. I wouldn't say they really depend on it. They do depend on it, but it's just one of those things. It was an awesome option, you know, for you, and like you said, it took a lot of pressure off of you. Schools is stressful, having to pay for school, trying to figure all that out, and now people have one less avenue to be able to use to be able to pay for their schooling. Uh, it's brutal. Yeah.
Now, I would tell you this. I figured the main reason why the Aspire program is a thing anyway is because Disney gets a tax write off from it.
Hmm.
You know. Now I don't know why they discontinued this, but obviously this was a big thing for a lot of cast members.
Right.
And I'm not saying that they're gonna have a mass exodus because I don't think people will, but you're gonna have a lot of morale down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at that point, this kind of ties back into to guess. If you got cast members there now that have a low morale, do you think they're gonna want to go above and beyond for a guest?
Nope.
Now they're looking at this job as more of a job compared
Mm.
to like Disney was taking care of me with these extra perks and stuff like that. You know,
All right.
it's gonna lower morale, and you're not gonna have happy cast members, which then that could they could potentially ruin. You know, you could have bad guest experiences from it now
You might as
because
well
now
call it
maybe that cast member that was very happy and it was going willing to go above and beyond maybe doesn't want to do that now.
no, yeah. You might as well just call it Six Flags Magic Kingdom at this point.
And so I think, and I'm not saying that we're seeing the evil side of Disney. I don't want to say that, but you're seeing kind of the bad parts of corporate America.
Yeah, I'm curious
Like,
on why they're not why they're taking it away. I didn't read into it, so I don't know the full reason, like the real reason, not the PR reason, but the real reason. I'm just very curious on why, and if it has to do anything with. It's obviously it's got to be a political thing, right? So
I don't know, but man, I said this. You gotta take care of your own people.
there's a reason why they're doing it, and they wouldn't do this just to do it because they know the bad press, the bad PR that they get for it, and that they are getting for it. So there's a deeper reason behind it, and it's definitely a money issue. It's definitely a thing. I don't think it's just we don't want to give people $5,000 for tuition anymore. There's a deeper issue here.
Oh,
So
which I agree. I agree with you, but I'm also play it like this. There's a new theme park opening up next year that they're gonna need a whole bunch of employees to fill that theme park.
hmm
I'm sure they're gonna give people a lot of incentives to make that jump. Just saying.
those people aren't gonna work at Epic. The people that are working at IOA right now are gonna work at Epic. Those people are gonna go to IOA.
But okay, then who's gonna fill IOA? Who's gonna fill
Well, that's my
Universal?
point. Yeah, but those people are gonna go. Universal is gonna make it very,
Oh,
very interesting for
but I
them.
also think too, Universal sees Disney on their application. If they want to go to Epic, they'll go to Epic.
True, true. The
I put it like
customer
this:
service thing
if
is a
I
huge part of it.
decided tomorrow I wanted to go work at Universal, you don't think I could go work at Epic?
I don't know. Could you?
You just put it like this: I could go work at Epic. Not saying that I want to, because I don't. Like I'm as far as concerned, I'm a retired theme park cast member. I loved my time at Disney. I've never worked at Universal. I'm sure it's probably a lovely place to work at. I'm at a different point in my life where that I wanna contribute to theme parks, but in a different way. So
you
I'm here
know,
with you.
yeah. It was always a dream of mine to be a cast member or a team member at a theme park. It's
Yeah.
just I never did it because I started working and had a decently paying job from the get go. So I just never really it never made sense for me to jump ship, you know, to like quit a job that I make decent money in to go work at a theme park or amusement park. But trust me, I was very close to doing making the jump. I nearly quit my job and went and worked at Knott's Berry Farm, but talked myself out of it.
You definitely made the right call, my friend.
Oh, I know I did. I know I did.
Now I would say this: the biggest perk I could tell anybody about ever working at Disney is you're gonna meet a lot of awesome people.
And that's what I've noticed. So I've met a lot of cool people through you who you've worked with and stuff like that. So I've gotten to know people that way, and other friends of mine that from out here that you know worked at Disneyland and worked at Universal, worked at Knott's Berry Farm, and I've gotten to know cool people that are very like minded to me, um, and have the same love for theme parks and stuff out here through them. So that is something I am kind of sad I missed out on is meeting people like me, but you know that's why I have friends, like my boy Big Tex is here to introduce me to those people.
Well, dude, it's definitely dwindling now. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I would say that's the biggest. That was probably the biggest thing I missed working at Disney. It's just like the amount of people you know, you get to meet. And I will say this too. I probably went through something very crappy today, and I did get like I just had a rough moment, and a lot of people that reached out to me was a lot of my ex cast member friends. It's just like it even though at times I do feel pretty low on myself, it's nice to have people that kind of reaffirm you that you know that you are loved. You know,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
so that's one thing I'm always going to appreciate working for the mouse is you do meet people from all walks of life. Like I have worked with people that live in different countries, different
Mm.
states, you know. Like what's the line that Dusty Rhodes says I've eaten with kings and
Uh huh. Yep. Yep.
you know. So like it's that's probably the most rewarding part working at Disney. You get to meet people from all works like all shapes of life, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something I'm, especially with the college program. So this Aspire thing, uh, it really sucks. You know, it sucks. There's no way. There's no other way to put it. So, hopefully Disney. Maybe I'm hoping this is maybe just a part time thing, and they're able to, if not bring back the exact same thing, bring it back in another type of fashion. You know.
Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, they just get I'm hoping it's enough negative press, whatever they thought they were going to pivot to, that they kind of realize that this is not the move.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they'll bring it back in some other form. That maybe
Because
it's not going to be called the same thing, but
I will say I have seen Disney get bullied in the past. And they
yeah,
went
yeah.
right back. I remember what was this? In 2021, they reopened Ohana, but the kicker was they weren't going to bring back the Ohana noodles. They were going to have
Oh,
fried rice instead. And so many people complained.
mm-hmm.
The restaurant didn't even open yet, and they already put the Ohana noodles back on there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What?
And I think honestly, what's going to happen with this too is I don't know whenever the union's contracts expire with Disney, and I can see this maybe being a this could be something involved with contracts and stuff like that that they could negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those where we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely glad I'm outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
uh,
it's you. Glad you don't have to stress about it while while being
exactly. You
in the
know,
program.
where I feel like me and you are both unique times where we could just enjoy the parks. I
Yeah.
feel for I feel for my ex cast members and stuff like that, co-workers. You know, that's it. That's a very crappy thing that they got taken away from them. I
Yeah.
don't agree with it. I think it's very bad. You know, I might even use a bad word here so you can cover your kids' ears. Shitty. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I hopefully Disney does do right by them.
Yeah. I think as much as I feel like this is a terrible thing, I kind of feel like the backlash will eventually we'll see it in a different form. I don't think it's going to be called the Disney Aspire program anymore. It'll probably be called something different. But I just think it's gonna. I think it'll return in some different type of form.
I hope so. And you know what? If that doesn't happen, could always go work at Epic Universe, baby.
Go work at SeaWorld, baby.
Oh God, no. God no,
You don't want to be a Shamu trainer?
absolutely not.
Well, you want to talk about one more thing, or you got to get out of here?
I need to get out of here. I need to take my dog out, and I'm gonna try to get some type of sleep before this Michigan Texas game come on.
Right on. All right. Well,
We
if
will
that's
definitely try to plan out this week a little bit better. Really, I just need my car out of the shop. Once I can get my car out of the shop, I can kind of slow it down and where I can make more time for this. Like, I definitely, big thing is I want to go vlogging and do more content, but I want to do not even just like do content. I want to do great content.
right.
And so I'm hoping my goal by the end of the year is to get a great GoPro,
Mm-hmm.
and I really do want to kind of travel a lot as well. I want to do things that the normal vlogger's not doing,
Right. Right.
you know? And whenever I find what that is, we're gonna explode it. It's gonna be fun, you know. Um, you got a lot of cool things coming up in Orlando, and I'm sure you
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of cool things coming up in LA.
Yep.
And you got some cool things. I know we'll definitely be seeing each other in Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in Orlando for 2 weeks, so we're definitely going to see each other then.
Is that
I know you're thinking about a cruise, so
dude?
you
It's
know.
cheap is cheap.
So there's a lot. There's going to be a lot for sure. I think in the time from now to when I actually get out to Orlando, I have maybe 5 or 6 haunts that I'm going to go to, and uh, some other cool theme park stuff. And usually I'm in the Disneyland, either Disneyland or DCA weekly. So there's that stuff to look forward to. Like I'll definitely get out whatever I can content wise. So yeah, just so a lot to look forward to. And I'm sorry again, apologizing for the lack of podcast, but we're definitely going to get that rolling again and get these pumped out for sure.
Yeah, if my goal is try to at least get 2 out a week.
Yeah, and
And
it's doable. Just our schedules have been hectic lately. I know your life's been hectic. My life's been kind of hectic. So
yeah,
once we get that settled down a little bit, we'll definitely get some more out. I got another one that I'm going to record with your wife on Sunday, or I think we talked about it Sunday, right? So
she's a lovely lady.
she's awesome. Yeah. So we're gonna do a Disneyland hotel history video, and kind of a review. So there's that to look forward to. But other than that, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our Spotify, um, go follow us on Facebook, and yeah. You have anything else?
Hook 'em horns, baby. Hook 'em
Oh,
horns.
oh boy. Um,
Go Cowboys.
yeah, I'd say something like "Roll Tide," but no, I don't know.
Yeah, same thing that Brian said. Just follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube at The Wildest Ride. Would love to do a giveaway soon.
Hmm.
Uh, dude,
We've
you
been
know what
lacking
we
on
should
that.
do? Are you going to the parks this weekend?
I will be at Universal Studios Hollywood, not Disneyland.
I was saying, aren't they doing the Stitch vampire popcorn buckets?
It is, yes, and the Alien Buzz Lightyear sipper.
I could see some potential giveaways with that.
Yeah, if they have any left, I'll definitely do it. I know cruise line people get it. I know Disney World people don't. So it'll eventually get to Disney World. It always does. So, but anyway, with that being said, that'll wrap it up for this episode of the Wildest Ride podcast. I do appreciate you joining us, and catch you guys on the next one.
Y'all take care, everybody.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Wildest Ride podcast. Please follow us on Facebook and on YouTube for the latest content. And make sure you subscribe on Spotify so you don't miss any of our latest episodes. And I hope to see you back here real soon.